All right, we're gonna hop right into this. So, I wanted to do a more in-depth film study on the closed guard. The closed guard is one of my 10 rings, one of my 10 hand positions that I've kind of developed over the years for boxing, but it's kind of for all martial arts in general. Just it's a principle thing. It's part of the Wukong training method. So, I'm just gonna kind of dive right into it. I can kind of show you guys what a closed guard looks like and and how exactly it's defined. So closed guard is it's a boxing position where you have your hands up, right? This is a normal boxing position. I call this front guard. Now closed guard, we're gonna take that front hand, I'm gonna close it, right? Like you're blocking a punch, and then you're gonna be playing with this hand, but in a closed position. And you may reach or do different things. It's a flexible position. But the point is that this gives you a lot of different options. And I have some examples, so I'd love to do a film study on it. So come with me. Let's go to my desktop here. And then, see, I'm going to start off with this photo. So this is the closed guard position. I developed this with my wooden ring. You hear, this is called a rattan ring here. And here, let me pull up the photo. There it is. So this is a rattan ring. You can get this, it's like 20 bucks. I'm going to start making them. Anyway, this is the rear hand. Now, it doesn't always have to be that hand. It can also be the other hand, as you see in this position. This is also a closed guard. Now, the whole point of this is that, let's go back. Like I said, one hand is guarding, right? So if I can mark this, let me mark this up. You guys can still see that. Okay, so look here. Draw. This is like I'm blocking a big overhand, right? There's a big overhand coming. Okay, cool. And then, if you see, this is like the straight path for the jab. We're occupying that space there, but not leaving opening. And the only opening is this side of the face, right? But you see, they have to get around. And because they have to get around, and I'm looking at them, then I can see what they're doing. Now, if, hey, maybe you don't believe me, that's fine. That's cool. I'll show you the footage. And this footage is over years of, see, there you go, pop right up. Cool. This footage is over years of me boxing. I've been boxing for about 10 years. And this first clip is against, I think that we were both either turning pro or still amateur, had just turned pro at this time. And we were both undefeated, maybe 4-0 here, if we were. My friend Brandon Soto, he's a very good fighter, and he was really fun to fight. So we would spar all the time, and this is a situation in which you can see the closed guard benefit me. And I'll show you. Okay. So if you see in this position, right, I start off with a roll, whatever, okay, but that right there, right, me touching there, I used to probe a lot with that. And now I can kind of see that when you touch something, usually something happens. So I started experimenting with that, and that goes further in the next clip. But the point here, let's see here, play. So look, I see that he did this. So I went this way to my left to try to negate this and also come right over top with my own counter punch. So it's a beautiful position to set up a counter punch. Boom. Boom. It's a trade. Well, not so much a trade. It's a trade in points, you could say, but I got the more solid hit, and it was my plan. I wanted him to do that. So, that's good. You must establish control in all your interactions. Now, we have a second clip. Now, this second clip, I think I was pro. I was still freshly pro, and Kendo Castañeda is a very good boxer, and he had like 150 amateur fights. He's a local San Antonio local legend guy. Like he's very well known around here, and I like him very much. He's one of my best friends. We sparred hundreds and hundreds of rounds, literally, like over years. And here's a clip. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we were talking to each other here. This is really interesting. I'm gonna go back right here at the beginning. So first thing he does, he drops a body shot on me, right? He drops a body shot right here. See? Okay. So once he lands this one, I tuck my elbow, but I think he still hit this one. Boom. So that was a good shot. I was like, okay, cool. I want him to throw this again because my hook is shorter, so I can hit him first. So when I felt him touch here, I thought he would throw it again. This is part of the experiment. And I do this little turn with my elbow. Watch this. Boom. See, right when I felt that, this is why I use the rings, by the way, the wooden ring, so I can feel. I'm very sensitive to little changes in fights and stuff like that at this range. And when I felt that, I was like, okay, throw the hook. Boom. See, my hook was very short, and I did hit him, and he pulled away. So what I thought would happen was that he would immediately throw the right hand because that would be the best option if he's going to go ahead and not throw the left hook. So he tried to set it up, and that's why I posted. I tried to step forward with my jab and say, all right, no right hand. So then once I overcommitted to my offense, he came back with the right hand and hit me. Boom. And I was like, okay, hold on. I was like, okay, go, hold on. Don't hit me like that, champ. Let's close it in, right? I tried to hit him, and I was like, no, let's close it in. This is a disengagement, even though I'm getting closer to him, right? See, I'm like, no, neither of us are going to punch. And then immediately I do a bonus. We get a bonus. Where I just called doing close guard here, I did a shell guard. Like a Philly shell, right? A shell. This is a shell guard. So I used my front hand under, and now I have my arm on him, right? My left arm, my front arm right here, on him. And I'm going to go ahead. You see that little nudge over, and then a straight right hand on the pipe. So I wanted to hit him back because I was like, nah, you can't hit me like that. I want to hit you too. And then this clip is actually against a famous boxer. His name is Glenn Tapia, and he's really good. He is really good. And so, in my system, I do like moving forward a lot. I love moving forward, and I think that walking forward is the most important thing to teach competitively in anything, just being forward. But I wanted to learn what world level offense is like. Now, he had already done a bunch of rounds, so keep in mind, he was a little bit tired here. But I still wanted to see his offense even when tired, and we did the same amount of rounds, so, here. So I'll just let the play first. Ready? I love that part. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's go back to that clip. This is probably one of the most high level things that I've ever done, right? And this is and I'm going to show you guys that other people do this, and people like Muhammad Ali and George Foreman are the best examples. So I'm going to show you after this, but first, let me explain to you what's happening here. Okay, so let's go back. The very first thing is like I said, fighting backwards because I wanted his offense to learn, and I gathered data, right? So I was just kind of pawing, and he immediately engaged. So I was like, oh, I gotta change levels, right? To make sure he doesn't try to hit me over here, and I got an incidental block because I had my arm out, so I incidentally blocked it with my shoulder. And I came back with a 2 that didn't hit, so I had to throw another one. Boom. You don't always want to just throw one punch at a time, right? Throw combinations. And then, right, so he comes here, probes with offense. Oh, look at that feint. That was beautiful. So that I learned more about feints here. That was a mistake on my end for falling for it because I changed levels. So in this sparring, like I said, he's 2 weight classes above me and a lot more experience, right? At the world level. So I'm learning. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So he's going to feint here. So let me try to feint too. So I came with a hook to try to get his attention. And then I made him think that I was going to throw a right hand, right? So I threw it, but look. I came back, boom, with another hook is the same hand. It was a trick. So I said, boom, ba, ba, right? And then I immediately put my hand on his hand to try to make sure he doesn't hit me with a left hook back. See? Tied up this hand. Okay. So then he pushes me, and this is right here. Look at my hand on the back of his head because he pushed me. So he wants me to get off of him. So I pull him. He wants to push, so I pull. Right? This is part of being sensitive. This is the most important part of the ring, the all my hand positions. It's all about being sensitive at close range. Okay? See that little pull? Right? I pulled him. Look at how off balance he was. This is not a fighting position. And I love that I was able to do this. And then, as soon as he as soon as he comes off balance, he immediately puts his hands on me, right? Because that's the best thing to do. If you don't have control of the situation, if you miss a punch, if anything bad happens, the best thing to do if you're that close, is to put your hands on the opponent. George Foreman literally says this. He's like, when you miss a punch, what's the best thing you can do? Everybody's like, put your guard up, do all this, and he's like, nah, miss a punch, put your hands on the opponent. You're gonna see in my film study. Watch. And I did set up a counterpunch off of that, right? So let's go back to that closed guard right here. Closed guard. So I see I can go over. His hand is extended. Because it's extended, I can attack. Boom. Right? Wasn't super clean, so I post again to try to get some space. Again, so now he wants to pull me in. So then I push. We were talking about sensitivity, right? If they push, I pull. If they pull, right? If they want to pull in, then I'm going to say push, go away. Right? So then he pulled away, so I pushed forward. Right? He pulled away, so I pushed forward. And then he's going to probe, so I was like, all right, I'm going to pull back then. Close guard. So that time I didn't fall for the feint, right? He actually did it. And then you guys could hear it. You heard me throw a body shot there. It did land because he came forward. So because he came forward, I accepted him, right, into this position. And then I tried to hit, I'm encouraging him to do whatever he's doing. Instead of being combative in whatever, situation that you're in, instead of being combative, we have to encourage our opponents to be who they are. And then we just have to exploit the weakness and use it against them, right? That way, when you beat people, they don't feel like, oh, if I would have done this, if I would have done that, then I would have, won or something like that. Like, nah, I want them to feel so confused, they don't even know. I want them to give those crappy answers, like after Errol Spence lost to Terrence Crawford. I want them to say, well, I guess he was just the better man tonight, and not understand why I just beat them. That's what I want, right? That was pretty much it for that clip. So here, it was a closed guard to stop his position and accept him as he comes in for a body shot. Boom. Like that. So, okay, so we saw that, right? That's enough of me, okay? And now, you see what I'm doing to these people. So now I want to go to, let me hide this. I think it's this one. Okay. So this is George Foreman versus Joe Frazier. This fight, if you guys know anything about Joe Frazier in the white shorts here, you know that he changes levels a lot. Like this. He dips and dodges, and he has a forward style. He's a very forward style. But so does George Foreman. Now, George Foreman is taller, bigger. He comes from a higher position. And because of that, he actually has a huge advantage at certain range. Now, if you guys know anything about my zones, Zone 3 is jab range. Zone 2 is inside that, where you can throw any punch. And Zone 1 is too close, right? Super close, like shoulder to shoulder, and it's clinch range. Okay? So, let's just pay attention really quick to the beginning of this clip, of this fight, of the first round. It's not a long fight at all. Okay, right here. So, look, there's Zone 5. They're all the way across the ring. Zone 4. Look at this. The first thing he does, big punch, right? Pay attention to all these things, okay? I'm going to let it play. Huge punch. As soon as he gets to Zone 2, he's like, no. I said, no Zone 2. I said, say it's Zone 3. Good. You come to Zone 2. Look at his hands. Look at him turn. Pull him. Ooh. Yo, this is so sick. This is so sick. I love the controls. He caught his hand. This is Zone 3, Zone 2. Every time he comes to Zone 2, I'm telling you. Every single time he came to Zone 2, he says, no. George Foreman's telling him, no, I will not fight you here. And Frazier, instead of, I really wish in this fight that Frazier had said, okay, instead, if we're not going to fight at Zone 2, then I'm going to disengage at Zone 4, or we're going to get to Zone 1, where I can hit you with these short, hooks and uppercuts. But let's see what he does. Right? So, no Zone 2. Let's watch here. Watch. Post. What goes up must come down. what goes down must come up, right? So every time he starts going up and down, he just pushes on him, and then he pushes him away. Look, there's a right uppercut right there. He says, no, you're going to stay here at zone 3, and I'm going to hit you because my zone 3 is longer than yours. I have longer arms. Turn. Ooh, that was way too smooth. Oh, my God, look at that. Right here. I love YouTube when you can go frame by frame. Right here, right, you see how he pulls. Joe Frazier's pushing forward, and you see how he misses this control right here. George Foreman misses his control. So Joe Frazier, right, in the white shorts, he's trying to keep his arms down so they can hit him with this big left hook. So right here would be a great position. But look, he's already shifting. George Foreman is already shifting to the left. He's going a different direction. He says, nah, we're going to go this way. And then he's going to change again. As soon as he gets here, boop, now we're going this way. It's a freaking roller coaster. And he hit him for good measure and immediately pushes on out. Beautiful. So watch. Let me see if you guys can understand. I'd love for you guys to understand that right there, Joe Frazier just hit George Foreman. This is very important. Joe Frazier just hit George Foreman. He had a success. But even though he had a success, that was not a good thing because he got touched 2 times. And this goes into a competitive mindset of not alerting the enemy to your plans. So here, we're at zone 2. And look, he lands a jab here, and he lands a hook right off of that. Right? So you saw that jab, and then he picked his head up, and then you see the right hand coming right behind it. Right there. See that right uppercut? That is the success of this for George Foreman. Frazier, he gets the left hook. Boom. Great shot. Beautiful shot. But what just happened before that, had George Foreman been turning his punches over, he would have hurt him. Now, why didn't George Foreman hit him hard? The reason why is because he doesn't want to alert him to the story that's happening right now, to what's happening. He doesn't want to scare him off, right? So you can't scare off your prey if you're a predator. You have to sneak up on them. Don't change their behavior because then you have to do something new. So he's like, okay, that's cool. Now watch the change. Because at this point, if I'm watching the fight, as soon as he landed that left hook, even though he got hit, I'd have been like, uh-oh, for Joe. Even though he's supposedly winning because he landed a punch. Look. You see him disengaging to the left. And, okay, so now the left hook didn't hit because he stayed at zone 3. Another disengagement and a turn. So right there, that was probably it. At that point right there, I would have said the rest of this fight is a formality and it's about to be over. Okay, so here, the jab, and you see how he's changing his levels. He still has not changed his behavior at all, which is good. He hits him with an uppercut. Sure, Joe blocked it because he has this, he's from Philly. Joe Frazier is from Philly. So some of that shell style is going to come out, but he does it differently, completely differently. It's a different style. He's going up and down, and he switches his guard, right? And he switches his stance because he's more square. Cool. Great. That is a terrible situation for him. Okay, he's going up and down while this guy's playing freaking target practice. He's fishing a barrel right now. He's not using his footwork. It's very dangerous. So at this point, and also you see George start moving forward a lot more in this. Boom. See? Right there, I'd have been like, all right, Joe's about to get knocked out. It's over with. He comes back with a big punch. That's not a big deal for me because he didn't change anything about his strategy. Yep. Yeah, he's trying to fight back now. But look at George standing his ground instead of turning him all the time. He's like, no. Instead of turning him here, watch. He turns him a little bit, but he's trying to actually hold him still instead of turn, right? He's like, no, stay. No. Stay in front so I can hook an uppercut. Stay right. Beautiful catch with the with the rear hand. Another post. Oh, 3 times in a row. There it is. The up and down. Watch this. Boom. That hurt. You see the wobble? These look like glancing shots. They're not. These are not. Nothing's glancing with George Foreman. Okay? He's intelligent. Right? You set up a shot. Boom. So here. Ooh. So that hit him on the way down. And then watch. Jab. Stand up. There, he threw the uppercut. He didn't pick him up because he wants to, though. He wants to pick him up when he's going down. He's timing him. And then he knows that if he goes down, then he must come up. So now, hook. Bow. Watch his legs. You see that? You see that bounce? Watch. He's going to bang his gloves together. Right? He banged his gloves together because he got caught. Huh? Bam. Got caught. Ooh. Now he's got to adjust. See, he's hurt. And there it is. Everybody was shocked. Everybody was shocked. I'd have been like, man, that's a formality, bro. Like his fate was sealed when he refused to change his strategy. From here, he's going to engage him at zone 2 now because he knows his timing of his up and down head movement, right? Look at the post. Look at the posting. Posting is when you use your hand to stop somebody by posting it out, right? Up and down, that's cute. It's not going to work. That's it. See, he picked him up with the uppercut. And he's just unloading. Sad story. Sad story there. So that's kind of all I wanted to show on that. Now that has to do with using hand controls and the push and pull that I showed in my previous clip. Like when I went like this. Is it this one? Yeah. Right here. This is from George Foreman. You see that pull? When I pulled this head and then I pushed him, right? Then use the closed guard. See? Push, post, do all those things. But there's a difference. My difference is that I was going backwards, right? And George Foreman was going forwards. It's a different style. But the reason why it was different, because I was fighting differently, right? So now, let's go back to our browser. There we go. And let's look at how did George Foreman lose? Who beat George Foreman? We know Ali, right? And how did he beat him? Well, against the ropes, like I was doing, right? He had a high guard, and he would play. He would post and play. This is how I continued to develop my close guard. So I want to make sure, okay, yeah, it has make sure I get one with the whole fight, no highlights and stuff like that. Like halfway through this video before they actually start fighting. You can kind of pick anywhere as long as, because Muhammad Ali had a strategy. It's like a theme of the fight. So you can kind of pick anywhere in the fight and probably see some of the things that I'm talking about here. But the reason why this worked so well is because let's think about it. George Foreman says no to zone 2 unless he has the perfect timing to be able to hit you and you can't see, right? So Joe Frazier said, well, I don't need to see because I'm moving my head. That's a bad move. Muhammad Ali, the reason why he said, oh, this is free, this is easy, I'm going to beat him, I'm going to knock him out and shock the world, is because he was like, oh, well, all I have to do is be able to see and then lean back a little bit and make him travel a long distance to hit me with those long punches. If I can see it coming, then I'll just guard it, stop it before it comes out, and then he'll get tired, and then I'll knock him out. That's what Muhammad Ali said. You know, he talked all his crap. He did his rap. He did all these different things. And this is 40-0. 40-0 George Foreman. And he saw this and said, I'm going to beat him easily. So here, I just give it to a random moment. This is the end of the first round. Okay, going backwards. He was still very active here. You see how he goes to the back of his head right here? Sorry. Right here. He's going to go to the back of his head. And then pull. Right? And then he pulled away. So he comes back. High guard. Right? And he accepted him. He pulled. And he said, you going to push? Come here. Right? That's the push and pull. And they're going to clinch here because he's like, look, we're getting competitive. I gotta win this. So we're not going to do this until the ref separates us. See? Look at the pull. That front hand. So we know how this fight ends. Okay, he did that all fight, the whole fight. Right? Let's skip to maybe round 4. Okay, round 4. Look, he comes back. He's gonna come back so he can see. Use his jab. Oh, look at that closed guard position. Came here and then came to the back of his head and pulled him in. I don't want to talk about rope a dope. I want to talk about these hand positions. Look at this. Look. Look, he can see. Look, he's looking at him. He's like, look, I can see that. No, you're not going to hit me with that. I can see that. So from there, with all these openings and the things that he's seeing, and he's slowing him down, and you see it, George Foreman trying to use his hand controls here because he's like, why can't I hit this dude? So he's trying to hold him down. He's like, there's nothing to hold down. I'm just tall. Like, I'm just tall, and I'm going to stay here. That's fine. So he's trying to do that, right? So then we see all these openings, and Muhammad Ali finally exploits them. Right around here. That was I remember that interaction. It was one of my favorites. See the pull? Now he's trying to tire him out by holding his head in this position. That's a very uncomfortable position. And you saw the look. Oh my God! Look at these right hands. Like bum 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 bum. Look at the feints. So this is why I say like what I did was one of the most high level things I ever did, because I did it against a world level type fighter, right? Glenn Tapia, and I was able to try to manipulate his head and hands and do these different things. Even during a sparring match, it's just sparring, but still these are techniques that you can practice. So practicing the hand positions, learning how to be sensitive, very very important, so that you can have all the success. Yep, it's right around here. Ooh. Here it is. Here it is. Look at the head control. Look, push and pull. Beautiful. Look at all those controls. He stopped those punches all the way out here. Deflecting with the forearm, deflecting by the forearm. God, this is just so interesting to me. So yeah, from there, you guys see, watch. Look at that post. He said sneaky right hand. He was right about that. Okay, turn him. See how he turned him now? And that was all she wrote. So, yeah. That is the close guard. That's how I kind of quantify it, and I just wanted to show you guys some cool stuff about it. Now, when you're doing the close guard and we're going to practice this, the way that I did it is that I went to a gym I went to an MMA gym because then you can practice a lot more because not everybody's trying to tear your head off. But if you can find good partners that are not going to always try to knock everybody's head off every time they spar, you can learn. And so I would come up to everyone and do a close guard position and just walk forward and gather data. Just learn what works from here. So I've learned, Canelo actually does this a lot. He comes forward, boom, and then he drops for a body shot. Boom, very unexpected. And then he'll shoot a hard jab. Boom, and then step like almost a gallop or a skip step and throw a wide right hook, because a lot of people, they try to go under or they try to slip to the side to avoid a straight right. So then he catches them with a hook. He loves his hooks, his Canelo, So because of that, also, I was able to kind of predict or really, really quantify his weakness in the who did he fight? The guy that he just lost to. So he lost to Bivol. He lost to Bivol. When he lost to Bivol, that was his first loss since Mayweather. That was years ago. And then people were like, oh, well, Bivol was just too big. And I was like, nah. There's similarities to how he lost to Mayweather and how he lost to Bivol. So Mayweather controlled his gloves and occupied him, and then Bivol controlled his gloves and occupied him. And then I'm like, okay, so if the smaller fighter can do it and a larger fighter can do it, then that means that there's something with the style. So I was like, well, what is Canelo's style? Well, his style is he does a high guard, and he does a closed guard, and he moves forward. So a good style against that is to stay sideways, right? Just like Plant was trying to do, but do not change levels. Stay above the guard and occupy. When you throw something out, he tries to counter it, then you counter that. Counter the counterpuncher. That's how I looked at that position. So, or at that fight. So I look at it by position instead of looking at it like who's faster, who's stronger, who's all these things. When literally Mayweather and all these other fighters are telling you it's not about that. It's about your mind and your strategy. It's not. It's all here. So yeah. Thank you guys for coming for me on this journey, and I'm gonna do more film studies. So follow, get on my Discord because I do live film studies, and I'll speak with some of my students. I do private lessons and things like that as well. So give me a follow or a like and share me, and go to my Discord channel. I'll leave some links in my bio, and you can follow me when I go live and do things like that. Thanks.